everybody. Welcome to another Baseball Brew Crew podcast. We are keeping baseball history alive, one craft beer at a time. Wherever you are watching or listening to us, please give us a like and a follow. And if you love beer with your baseball, please tell a friend. Let's get to it. Oh my gosh. Kevin going all out with the beer bat. Love it. Here is the lineup card for today.
Ladies and gentlemen, now batting, the Squared Circle Diamond King. Number 24, the Big Hurt, Allan Jepsen.
Hitting first is the newest acquisition, the first international signing of the Baseball Brew Crew. It is the Big Hurt, Allan Jepsen. How you doing tonight? I know that we probably have a USA versus Canada rivalry now. Are we still friends at this point?
As the newest member of the 51st state up here, we're so good.
All right, batting second is the field correspondent and senior research analyst at the Baseball Brew Crew. It is Kevin Lyon, back from Palm Springs. Look at that beer bat.
Yes, and this is from the California Winter League from beautiful Palm Springs, California. I have a Palm Springs beer, so cheers, folks.
Nice, and some Palm Springs foam there. My goodness. Wow.
Yeah, apparently I poured it too quickly. This guy had the bat at an angle. Like I'm in a bunt. But there's no bunting allowed in Banana Ball, but is bunting allowed in the Baseball Brew Crew?
I think we will allow it. Actually, I saw a lot of bunting this weekend in college baseball, so it was a lot of fun. Right. Our third hole batter is not going to be here tonight. The Goodwill Ambassador, the Sultan of Swig, Cowboy Jack Durango, on assignment. I seem to think because of his new contract, he's like Anthony Rendon. He is holding out.
Whoa. I will not stand for that, even though I'm wearing this hat. Which I'll explain why later. I'm wearing this hat of my former favorite team. But I'm sure he would not be happy if you saying that because he's going to do more than 50 podcasts this year. All right?
Oh, okay. Yes,
I think he still will. He missed two, but I think he'll do the other. He'll do more podcasts than Mr. Rendon will play games this year. I know I'm going way on a limb by saying that. He's already up like 4-0 on Rendon.
I will agree with that, and we should keep that counter.
Oh, there's our new counter.
That's our new counter for darn
Cowboy
sure. Jack
Durango podcast appearances versus Anthony Rendon played games in 2025. I love it. Let's get it going.
Love it. My name is Michael Mondragon, your humble host for the festivities tonight.
Excuse me. You say you're a humble host, Michael Mondragon?
Yes.
You're the man who has seen more Grand Slams being dished out than a Sunday morning at your local Denny's. All right. There's nothing humble about that, Michael Mondragon.
I will agree with
about that as we go through the evening.
Yeah. Well, I actually left my phone in an Uber last night. Yes. And I just got it back today.
Oh.
So we're actually going to hold all my college baseball talk for next week. But yes, I saw two more Grand Slams and, I might have the title of Mr. Grand Slam when it comes to it.
Michael, I went with you in a college baseball game in 2023 and 2024, and we saw a Grand Slam in each of those games as well.
I agree.
And humble brag, what's the most impossible feat in baseball history that you saw in person? Why don't you humble the audience?
I saw the Fernando Tatis Sr. 2 Grand Slams in one inning, which will never happen again. Especially because it was off the same pitcher as well.
Exactly.
So yeah, it was kind of crazy.
Did Chanho have? Did he have really bad diarrhea during that inning?
He did not.
Okay.
That was later on in his career.
Okay.
He also hadn't karate kicked somebody. Yeah, or that was Hee-Seop Choi. Sorry.
Oh.
I'm getting my Korean baseball players mixed up.
Oh no.
Yes. But yeah, we'll definitely talk
about a deep dive on that. I don't know that story, so I look forward to hearing about it.
Oh, really? Okay, so I'll have to bring that in. I look forward to hearing
about that one day as I refill
Yes, he kicked someone in the head on the infield. It was pretty impressive.
Okay.
So we'll definitely talk more about that. So Kevin, I have a question for you.
Let's start right out. Hey, what happened?
Are we talking in my life? Because we don't have weeks and weeks to talk about my lifeline, sir.
Well, you have a beer right there, and we'll talk about the beer in a second. But I wanted you to give a little background. We're talking about Palm Springs.
Yes, sir.
What exactly was going on?
Oh, it's every year I think there's a thing called the California Winter League. It started in 2011, if my memory serves me correct. And Michael and I discovered this through a friend. A friend of mine went into Palm Springs. We walked into a famous artist shop, and there was a schedule. I'm like, what is this? There's baseball in Palm Springs? And so what this is, it's an instructional league for people looking to make their way into the professional ranks. And there's been a couple of people who actually made it to the major leagues from this. And otherwise, people have made it to independent league ball. So I'm wearing my Winnipeg Gold Eyes shirt tonight, which is affiliated with the Frontier League, I believe is the name of the league. I might have the league wrong, but they have an official affiliation with this. So what it is, it's just players who are looking to just get some exposure, get out there playing for other scouts. And they made it very localized to where they've created all these teams. Like this year, the championship game was between the Canada A's and the Washington Blue Sox. In the past, there's been the Coachella Valley Snowbirds, I think is the name of the team. So they're literally catering to the Canadian audience, the Canadian Snowbirds, to where there's a day where it's like Canadians will get in for like $1 or $2.
Yeah, that's right. It's a little
every day is a gimmick. Yeah, apparently a lot of people in Canada come down to get out of that frigid weather, come down and see baseball and beautiful Palm Springs, California. And so the reason why I'm wearing my Angels hat today is that Palm Springs was the original, I believe, but definitely was when I was a kid. Once I went to a game in '83 where the Angels, then the California Angels, were using this facility as their spring training. Now look at this facility, Michael Mondragon.
Yes.
Very upscale. Very upscale. Let me just tell you right there.
And I'm sure like in the 60s, it was, a little bit, I don't know. It was probably low tech as well, but it still was.
Allan Jepsen, do you know what a trough is?
Yeah, a pea trough. You talking about like a pea trough?
Yes, that is still at this. There's still one of those in the bathroom at this ballpark.
Oh yeah,
they have them at Nat Bailey too.
Oh, okay. All right, there you go. So Vancouver and Palm Springs, same.
Maybe not the original ones. I think we had the original ones.
Yeah, it might still be ones from like the '60s. Who knows?
Yeah, for sure.
But it's a smaller ballpark, and you could probably. I mean, this time we've gone every year almost before the pandemic, and I've gone a couple times since then, since 2016. And it's a nice little ballpark, pretty intimate. It's pretty much like mostly old school bleachers, but there's some seats here and there. And Michael, I saw this semifinals to where we had a whopping maybe 200-ish people. So, hanging out the Raptors, brother. And so I saw the Canada A's advance to the finals in a pretty exciting game. But we saw a huge upset. Canada A's the number 2 team. The number 1 team in the regular season, which is only like 20 games, there was a team from China. And apparently they're the Team China like national team. That includes members who are going to be on the WBC team. And they actually lost their game on Saturday to the Washington Blue Sox. And most of these teams are just assembled when they get out there. And these are just players, like I said, just looking to get some playing time in. So I saw Team China lose 2-1 in a very close game. They were down 2-0. They scored a run in the bottom of the 7th, but not enough to advance. So these games are all 7 innings. And Allan Jepsen, this league introduced us to what was then called the Canadian baseball rules, to where they had the audacity in extra innings to put a runner on second inning to start extra innings, which would be the 8th inning in this league. Never heard of such a thing, but apparently that was Canadian rules. So
we've always, when I grew up playing, that was always a rule, but it was always called international rules.
All right.
Wow.
It was not
Canadian. We never even heard of this. And then we're like, what is this? And I'm like, I'm glad you at least are aware of how your country ruined baseball. All right.
Yeah, it sure is us.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
With your AstroTurf and your Olympic stadiums.
Yeah.
Actually, the Dodgers had an Olympic stadium as well. So
it's back, it's all in good fun. But we were just shocked the time we first heard this. We were like, we never even heard of this. We're on our phone, just rapidly looking, like hashtag doing the research in like 2017. We're like, what? We were using our telegraph trying to figure out back then how to look up this information.
Well, we were also because the California high schools did it. So we're like, why are we reverting back to California high school rules?
What's this Canadian rules?
And then international rules and all this stuff. But
they're probably just catering their Canadian audience, because I've definitely seen Canadians here at these games over the years. And I'm like, cool. Thank you for supporting baseball.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful time of year to go to Palm Springs. Definitely a touristy time as well. Like, this week when I went, I'm like, oh, it's like mid-modernism, like art week. They do the film fest. There's a lot of stuff going on this time of year. So if you're planning on staying overnight, which I didn't, save your money because even like the cheapest motel. Remember the time we stayed at a motel was like 100.
It's pretty expensive.
$15. Actually. It was 115 for the cheapest motel, and it's just like, oh my god, probably.
Yeah, I thought it was like a Tijuana hotel.
Exactly.
It was terrible. Let's take a look at some of your footage real quick.
All right. Yeah, definitely had to show the last outs those games because the Washington Blue Sox winning was like a huge upset. Like they were like, I think 5-12, and they beat the team that was like 14-3, beating the team China. And I was just going, there's no way this can happen. And they pulled it off. There was a couple interesting pictures too I saw on the team China. Like I saw someone who was almost doing like submarine style pitches and someone else doing like all off speed. I was like, whoa, this is interesting to watch.
Yeah, and that last out was very Terry Mulholland-esque, or
Yeah,
El Duque
exactly.
Also, where he throws the glove there.
Yeah,
that was pretty impressive. Well, thank you for that report. We'll definitely do some more hopping around. Again, we have so many things we haven't reported on, but hey, what craft beer are you drinking tonight? We always bring a new and unique craft beer to talk about and breweries to talk about. Allan, I'm going to have you go first.
Well, since I finished my first book in probably 10 years, I figured this was a good one to go with. It's a Sidekick Brewing out of Chilliwack, British Columbia. Grim Librarian Lucia Dark Lager. It's 5.4%, 25 IBUs. It's a dark Czech lager. It's pretty easy to drink. I could throw back a few of these. So, yeah, it's a good one.
Nice. And Sidekick is out of
Chilliwack. So they're out in the
Chilliwack.
valley. They're in the valley. So it's like probably an hour drive away to get to it. But out in that Chilliwack area, there's now 6 or 7 breweries.
wow.
So it's a long drive. So you can't have.
Is that like I mean, by the name, it sounds like what would be like a Native American area, or I'm sorry, not in Canada. Indigenous people. Sorry,
No, Chilliwack is just farmland. A lot of
Okay.
it. So it's
because the name just sounds like towns we would hear here in America that would be more indigenous people. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's mainly farm. It's starting to get a little bit more populated as people try and move out there because it's cheaper. So their downtown core is getting bigger and busier, which means more breweries because there's lots of farmland for them to pop up new breweries, which is fantastic.
Go
that
some
works.
hops.
That's
Yeah,
it.
definitely.
Yeah. Start hopping around for sure.
Yeah, there we go.
Kevin, tell us about Las Palmas.
All right. So after I was done with California Wood League Baseball, there's only 2 breweries in beautiful Palm Springs, California. If I would have went a few miles north to the suburb called Cathedral City, I could have went to a place called Luchador Brewing Company. I've been to their other location, so I wanted to just keep it local, keep it simple. So I went to Las Palmas, which is definitely not your typical brewery because I don't think. Do you have the photo of their sandwich board that I sent you?
Oh, I
think
think
you have that one.
It's
They only have
right
6 beers on draft. And if you see there by the sandwich board, they do like it's not a traditional brewery at all. And I went there 2 years ago, I want to say, and I'm like, oh, it's not that. It looked like not too busy in there. And I'm like, oh, and I'm like, going, I'm guessing this is more of like a liquor and wine town. But I went there on Saturday, I'm like, oh my gosh, I could barely find a place to sit. And they literally only have 6 things on draft, and it's like unfiltered IPA. I had a farmhouse IPA, which I don't know how to even describe a farmhouse IPA to anybody. And just tried a couple things, just checking it out. I'm going, all right, cool. But the only thing they had to go is what I'm having tonight is their Pilsner, which I'll read this, even though it's a Pilsner, it says here on this can, This lager is dedicated to the Coachella Valley and the people who call the desert home. It's an easy drinking 4.1 Pilsner. It's literally just called Pilsner, but I'm just happy to see like a local brewery flourishing in beautiful Palm Springs, California. Because the only one that's out there in the actual city proper is La Quinta, which you and I have been to before, Michael.
Mm-hmm.
But this one is just completely local, just playing to that local audience. And they also have some wines there, and just like I was happy to see a local business doing well, when it comes down to the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, I think this is the place we didn't get to when we went, and
I don't think it was open then, Michael.
I was just going to ask you.
No.
It seemed like there was one that we were waiting for it to open. So this is that one, and we went to Coachella Valley.
Yes, that's a little bit out there. That's out there compared to this. That's for people who are driving to Palm Springs, you would stay on the 10 freeway and go further up. And it's actually off the freeway by one of the local casinos.
Yeah.
If you're going to the hard Palm Springs, it's pretty much, if you want a beer, local beer, go to brewery. It's Las Palmas and La Quinta. That's not too far away from there. It's on the same street. I think another half mile up.
Yeah. So some good stuff. Unfiltered IPAs, which is actually kind of risky, I think, because people kind of shy away from IPAs anyway, and that's why
that day when I went there, I had their they had IPA West Coast, and then the Farmhouse IPA, which I would not recommend to most people because it's a little bit more of a saison-ish. I don't know. It's not your conventional IPA, and then they had like a black IPA, a black lager, and this Pilsner. So definitely not your traditional like brewery what they're serving, because they'll have 6 things on draft, and I think it's all made on their on site. So I took a photo of what they had in the back going, they don't have much space to do much here. But that's why I'm like, that's cool though that they're successful now.
Like for us, we would be like, oh wow, this is kind of very interesting and very eclectic. But I know from definitely the clientele there, they're not super beer explorers. But maybe I'm wrong about that.
See, that's why I'm like, this place is making it with not having your traditional beers. I'm like, good for them, man.
Yeah, that's even more credit to them for sure. So Las Palmas.
I bet you that Pilsner is probably their number one, and that's probably why they have it in cans.
This is the only thing they had in cans.
Yeah.
They probably sell kegs and kegs and kegs and kegs and kegs of that.
And I knew I could put 2 in this beer bat.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, right before the Sunday games, I made it out to Phoenix Beer Company. And this one is the Monsoon Valley Style IPA. So it's a 7% ABV, 70 IBU, flavor notes of mango and papaya. It was a 2022 Arizona Craft Beer Awards gold medalist for American IPA and Best in Show. So yeah, it was a very, very complex beer, and it's definitely not what I was expecting. It was really earthy tasting, but the flavor notes were really good in it. And one of the great things about it is that if you go to Salt River Fields, it's probably about 1.5 miles northwest of it. So actually what I did was I got out there and I just walked the Salt River Fields. So it was very easy. Yeah. So, and then
did the beer tell you one of these 2 sayings? Will you stop? Or break? Or did it tell you about the back of the neck, whatever term Monsoon would call it? I love for Republicans.
Yes. I love Gorilla Monsoon is one of the greatest wrestling names of all time. But yes, and I actually have experienced a monsoon, and actually I've been in quite a few ones that they're not tornado-ish, but
there's water in Arizona that falls out of the sky.
Believe it or else.
My first rainout was in Arizona at Salt River Fields, actually.
Oh, go figure that out. That's amazing. Yeah, I last year when I went to Hohokam Park, which is weirdly the first time I've been there, and I've lived there for 27 years before that. Because it was then it was the Cubs, but now it was the Athletics.
The Athletics.
Yes,
you can't say Oakland. They're just the Athletics.
Yes, well, technically it was the Oakland Athletics, but Athletics, and it got rained out, and I don't think I'd ever been to a rain out in Arizona ever. So it was pretty intense.
Well, apparently I'm missing out because I'm the only person not to get Arizona rain out. I gotta get on that.
Well, I hope you never get one, because if you come out here from California, you don't want a missed day of baseball.
I know.
So yeah.
I almost missed out on Palm Springs because it was raining here last week.
Yeah.
Like I was looking, going, I can only make it out Saturday for these semifinals, and I'm like, luckily the rain stopped on Friday.
All right. So we have a new game to play this week. So we're going to keep it easy and cheesy, but we're actually going to test some of your knowledge. And if you're watching with us, hopefully you can test some of your knowledge. And it is, and actually Allan and Kevin don't even know what this game is, which is fun. Are you ready?
Sure.
It is the World Series game. Yes.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Like it's Leo knows from Mr. Jepsen.
This is
I'm
the
ready.
World Series game. And what we're going to do is this. We're going to, one of you is going to pick a year. We're going to go from 1960 to 2024.
This is not a fair game already, Michael Mondragon.
Hold on.
I went to every World Series from 1901 to 1959. This is unfair.
Well, I had to put a little bit of a curve on this for you, and also for our newbie over here. He knows more than he lets on. So you just have to use your brain on this one. It'll all come to you. But okay, so we're gonna go from 1960 to 2024. And what I want you to do is, so you can choose who's going to go first, and whoever does, you're going to challenge the other person with a year. So you're not even going to pick your own year. So you're going to have the other person pick your own year. When you pick your year, I want you to give me the team that won. I want you to give me their manager.
Oh,
I want you to give the team that they beat, and I want you to give me their manager. Okay, so you are just going to really test you.
Yeah.
We're also, if you can name the World Series MVP that year, okay, and then I have a tiebreaker, which is the games. Yes.
all right.
So, all right, who wants to challenge the other person with, just throw out a year.
2014.
So, Kevin, you have 2014. Let me.
You know what, Allan Jepsen? You actually gave me one. I at least can give you the runner. I actually can tell you this because my heart got broken in 2014. The only time I got to go to a Major League Baseball game for my then Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, they lost to the team that ended up being the runner-up. Do I need to give you, Michael?
You need to go in
how do
order.
you want me to answer this? How do you want me to answer this?
All right. I want you to give me the team that won.
Your World Series champions was the yes. It was the even run era of the San Francisco Giants.
You are correct, sir. You have won.
And they
Can you tell me the manager of that team?
The manager was the manager of the 1994 Rancho Cucamonga Quakes, who won the California League Championship, because I was a season ticket holder with my parents back then. We have a gentleman by the name of Bruce Bochy.
You are correct.
All right.
Nice.
And the runner-ups would be the Kansas City Royals, who broke my heart, although I knew it was coming. They got hot at the right time.
Okay.
The manager,
who is their manager?
This is where I'm going to draw a complete blank. I have no idea. So just for a fun answer, let me just say Hal McRae, even though I know that's not the right answer. That's okay.
No. Allan, do you know?
Is it Ned Yost?
Ned Yost.
Whoa! Cheers to you, sir.
Nicely done. And okay, so since you stole, who is the MVP of that series?
Oh man, which one was that one? I named it because I'm wearing a sweater of the
there you go. Exactly.
2014 Giants. Let's go Buster Posey.
Kevin.
Let me go with Kelly Leak, Tim Lincecum.
Oh. It was actually a man.
Oh, no, I know it is. Pablo Sandoval.
That's a great guess.
I think he was MVP in 2016 then.
I believe this man almost single-handedly won the series. Madison Bumgarner.
Oh my gosh. All right.
All right. So 3-1, Kevin on that one. Kevin, do you want to challenge Allan with a year?
I know. I feel bad. I don't want to. I know I could throw a year in that's going to be rude, but I want to make this competitive. Let's make this I'm gonna do one that's gonna hurt his feelings. Let's have some fun. 2001.
Ooh, 2001 is a great one. So
it's a bitter one for him.
In the
2001. Let me pull that up real quick. 2001. There we go. All right, Allan, go for it.
You know why that one hurts you? Should hurt your feelings?
Yankees won.
The Yankees did. The Yankees did not win.
Are you aware of the Mariners in that year? Isn't that the year the Mariners won the most games in a Major League season ever? Yes.
Yeah, 116.
So who won the World Series that year?
Wow.
Well, yeah, it's yours, Kevin. Now he got it wrong.
Man, New York went up in flames, and they still they couldn't fix the World Series to have the New York Yankees win. They lost to the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. Who was the manager of the Diamondbacks?
Oh my gosh! See that's where I'm like, what random name can I throw out? Well, I'm pointing my beard and stalling for time. I have no earthly idea. I know the Yankees manager is. That's the worst part. I know the Yankees manager is. You think who could possibly have been that?
I could give you some hints, but I won't. I'm going to let you just guess.
I have no guesses whatsoever right now.
Okay, so you got that one wrong.
Yeah.
So this man, I believe, made 3 errors at third base in an inning one time. I think he's 1-0 in World Series competition. Bob Brenly, who I did see in 1980 something as a Phoenix Giant.
89 would have been 89 was the World Series, the Earthquake World Series between the A's and the Giants.
You're going on to different years. All right. So since Kevin got that wrong, Allan, who is the Yankees manager?
It was
I got it from here.
Joe Torre?
Yep.
4-2 here. All right, Allan, can you name?
Gonna guess between two. Luis Gonzalez.
It wasn't? I thought the World Series MVP was Cowboy Jack Durango's longtime close personal friend, Luis Gonzalez.
He must have won the MVP in the NLCS.
All right.
Who is the MVP, Kevin?
Juan Pierre. I don't know. No idea.
Kurt Schilling?
Your World Series MVPs were Kurt Schilling and Randy Johnson.
Oh, of course it was.
First time it was 2, but not unique actually. It's actually not unique. There's a little foreshadowing.
I don't remember that. I'm just throwing random names. All right.
Yeah, they both were awesome in that series.
But that game went 7 games. Does that give me a point?
No, because that's my tiebreaker.
Oh, it's your tiebreaker. Rats.
It's tiebreaker. Right. Exactly. All right.
Now, what do you got for me? Come on, Allan. What do you got?
Yeah, Allan, give it.
You want to test my knowledge, or you gonna just mess her?
I mean, I'm trying to think of something where I might know the follow-ups if there.
Exactly. That's why it's all 2000 so far. You're looking at it and throw you like a 60s series. That would be nice.
1976.
Ooh. All right. Here's a good one. Let me get that one. Uh-oh. Go for it, Kevin.
That would be the Cincinnati Reds sweeping the New York Yankees in 4 games.
Slow down. You got to slow down.
Well, I'm not slowing down this one.
Well, you need to feed the manager for the next one.
Oh, sorry. Excuse me. I can name both man. Well, I can name one manager. I might be wrong on the Yankees manager. I'm sorry. What do you need first, Michael Mondragon?
Go for the Cincinnati Reds manager.
That would be the young and spry Sparky Anderson.
Yes, you are correct. And for the Yankees?
I would guess that'd be the Spitfire Billy Martin.
You are correct. Now, here's the hard one. Who was the MVP of the 76 World Series?
My guess is Baseball Brew Crew Diamond Icon Johnny Bench.
Ran the board on that one. Wow.
You hit my wheelhouse, Allan. I was 1 or I was 201, depending on when you depending on
that was impressive. That was impressive.
Oh, that's my wheelhouse.
All right, Kevin, pick a year. Pick a Pilsner.
Oh, I have a Pilsner.
Oh, sorry.
I already do. I'm thinking. All right, Allan Jepsen, I'm going to tackle you with the year 1991.
1991. A very fine year. The year that I turned 21.
Hint? I was 6.
This is a year where the 2 championship teams went from worst to first. That was the theme of this World Series.
Nice.
Doesn't help me.
I'm sorry. One of these teams, I would say, was known as America's team, which really made some people angry because of their prominence on cable television.
The Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, exactly. Ding, ding, ding. You got it.
That's funny.
91. I'm trying to think of who was good.
So who won? Who won?
I know the year after, and I know the year after that. But so let's do.
Gave you the wrong year. You want to just kayfabe this?
Atlanta Braves.
But hey, did they win or they make it? What do you think about the Braves?
I'm just calling out. I chose that they won.
All right.
They did not win. Kevin?
But you were very close because they lost to the Minnesota Twins.
That's right.
And literally, let me tell you this, Michael. Let me see if you remember this. WCW Halloween Havoc was airing at the exact same time as Game 7 of this World Series.
That's right.
Watched the pay-per-view at my house, and they had a Halloween saying on the stage, and one of the tombstones said Minnesota Twins. R.I.P. Minnesota Twins.
Yep.
And unfortunately, I believe it was Lonnie Smith who made it, made a mistake running the bases, and that unfortunately cost them.
Yep.
I believe, is that the game where Jack Morris pitched like 11 shutout innings or something?
I believe
like that?
so. And
something insane like that.
Yeah.
I think that's the game that earned Jack Morris his Hall of Fame ticket.
Yeah, it was one of those intense games, and it was in the Metrodome, so it was like one of those, you couldn't hear anything, and you could, but it was his gaff. But okay, so who was the since you're on a roll, Kevin, who was the manager of the Minnesota Twins?
Oh no, I can't remember his name. I can see him, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, it actually has a statue now outside of the Minnesota
I can't
Stadium.
believe I can't remember his name. When you say his name, it's like Joe or I literally can't remember his name. You're gonna tell me, and I'm gonna be kicking myself.
So you didn't get you conceding?
I can't.
Alan.
Ron Gardenhire?
No.
Oh, that's a great guess. Wrong. It is Tom Kelly.
Tom Kelly. I would never remember that.
That's a great guess, Alan. Kevin, back to you. Who is the Braves manager?
That'd be the man who's been ejected from more games than any other manager in Major League Baseball history. Not Earl Weaver, not Tommy Lasorda, but Bobby Cox.
So there you go. So Minnesota Twins is the answer to that. Yes. All right.
Allan, you're up to throw me a year. Please throw me a year. I can have some fun, please.
2010.
Ooh, 2010 is a great
absolutely
one.
No idea. Nope.
Come on.
Hang on. Let me think. The San Francisco Giants. Because I'm like, oh yeah, it's an even year. They beat the Tigers in 12. The Texas Rangers.
Oh, wow. All right. Who is the manager of the Giants?
Bruce Bochy.
Yes, it is. It's not Buster Posey. Okay. And who is the manager of the Texas Rangers?
I have no idea. Bobby Valentine. I know.
Alan, do you have a guess?
Ron Washington.
You are correct.
Nice. Very good.
And Ron Washington is quickly becoming like my Dusty Baker, where the more I find out about him and how cool he is, and you really root for him actually. And
I wish you could more of my former team.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So the World Series MVP for that year. You may not get this one. This one's a little interesting too. I will say that he had kind of a bust out year in the end of his career.
One of the Molina brothers.
It is not. That's a really good guess though.
See, I was trying to remember. I thought the panda. I was thinking the panda earlier, but let me think. Hey, excuse me. I didn't say that was my final answer, sir.
I will give you a hint, and I hope this doesn't give it away too much. He actually made the last out in the 2004 World Series.
No more?
Nope.
I got no idea. I'm like, who?
It is Edgar Renteria.
Actually
had a super bust out year, and he had an incredible playoffs that year.
He met with Barry Bonds as sports psychologist.
Yes. Yeah. He actually stumbled into his medicine case. Yeah, there you go. All right. So where are we going next?
All right, Alan. I was hoping you would have given me one I would have be helpful with. All right, Allan, 1969.
Ooh. Okay.
That's a very famous World Series, so I'm not making it that hard. It's possible you can name the winners of this World Series.
69. I'm trying to think because like big thing in hat culture now is side patches, and they've been putting a lot of World Series logos on hats.
Great.
So like that's why that's how I'm trying to remember it.
Okay.
Because I don't have any recollection of anything else. I want to guess maybe the Pirates.
You're 1 year off. That color right there. It's funny. I don't think you meant to do that. Did you mean to do that colors motif, Michael?
No.
Because it's close to the World Series champions, the Miracle Mets.
That's right.
You're very close, Allan, with your guess.
Yes.
And the Miracle Mets that year would have beaten like the incredible team of the Baltimore Orioles.
You need you manager first.
Oh, sorry. Is the manager first? I'm sorry. Oh, God. I don't know who managed the Mets in 60. Oh, no. Now I give you the next answer.
Yeah.
Which is great because I know no, I'm not going to say anything else. Who was managing the Mets in 69? Was it? It would not have been Casey Stengel by then. I'll say Casey Stengel, even though I know that's not it.
Go
Allan?
for it, Allan.
Who's the Mets manager in 69?
No clue.
Who was it, Michael?
He's actually famous I believe, in the New York area, Gil Hodges.
Oh, my gosh. That's right. He was a Brooklyn Dodger. I should remember that.
Yes.
I don't remember he made the Hall of Fame, but he was one of those guys who's been on the cusp of it, and people want him again forever. Yeah.
Yep. So who's up? Allan, are you up?
I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna take a shot that they beat the Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
correct.
I said that openly.
Yep.
You told us pre-game, don't go too fast.
Yes, right. Okay, so who is the manager of the Baltimore Orioles?
Earl Weaver.
Nicely done.
I don't know.
There's a famous remember when Sparky Anderson, when Earl Weaver, the one where he's mic'd up and he's yelling at the at the umpires. There's a part in there where the umpire and Earl Weaver have this very intimate discussion about, they said, like, Earl says, I'm going to be in the World Series, or I'm going to be in the Hall of Fame one day. And the umpire goes, what, for screwing up World Series? So,
probably, I can't remember that umpire's name, but I think the umpire's in the Hall of Fame too long for Earl Weaver.
Yeah, it was just a great comeback. And it's a line that's kind of unappreciated in that rant.
Oh, yeah.
So in 1969, who was the MVP? This one's a little tough. Oh, that's a great guess. You would think it would be, but it's not. Actually, sorry. I screwed up myself.
Damn it.
It's actually.
Excuse me. Can I take a guess, please?
Go for it.
Tommy Agee.
That's fantastic. He actually caught the last out in that game, but it was not. The MVP was Don Clendon.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Yes.
Who knew? All right. So,
Michael, are we done? Why don't you pick a year for us?
Oh, okay.
Or unless you think we're done.
No. I mean, there's so many great years. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to a year that I think that is. This one's pretty recent, and you might be able to get this one. How about 2016? 2016.
16.
I'm like, you would think when I know this, I'm like, I know 1 in 15, but
it wasn't that long ago, and all right, so 2016 is the year. Who's gonna take it? So is it Allan? Are you guessing first?
Yeah, I think it's my turn. I think this is when the Cubs won, right?
Oh,
nicely done. Who was the manager of the Cubs?
I can see his face. Madden.
Oh, Joe Madden.
Yes.
Good job.
Yes. He also coached the Raiders. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, one letter off, but yeah.
Well, the Angels, then he,
Yes. Okay, so who did they beat?
Cleveland Guardians?
No. That's incorrect.
They're still the Indians then.
They're still the Indians. So I'll give you that. And who was the manager of the former Indians?
You got this, Allan. Come on. I think even I know this.
I know who's the bench coach probably, but I don't know who the manager is. Like, I think Sandy Alomar was the bench coach, but I think that's as far as I got. Yeah, no.
All right. You want to steal, Kevin?
I think it's Terry Francona.
Oh man.
Nicely done. So, who was the World Series MVP?
Just like I have no idea, so I'll just guess Chris Bryant. Even though I don't think that's right.
Okay, not correct. Allan, do you have a guess?
Rizzo.
It is not. But okay, I'm gonna see if I can. The first person to get this after this hint, you just shout it out. BZ.
Barry Zito.
Oh,
How many BZs are in the major
like
leagues?
BC.
Exactly. He's actually
Ben
probably
Zobrist.
there. It is.
And I'm like, what? Zobrist.
Wasn't BZ.
I'm like, you need the other BZ first.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, 2016. I mean, that was a pretty monumental year, right? It wasn't a long time ago.
I know. I was like, I couldn't believe I brain farted that was the Cubs.
Let's see here. Let's see if I.
Michael Mondragon.
Yes, sir.
You want to challenge me and throw me an old one and see if I can sweep it?
Yes. Let's go here. Let's
Do it.
Just my Rain Man skill.
Okay.
They're
With
gonna tell me
that,
the year I won't know.
are you ready for this? Let's go 1966.
I was hoping you said 65.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, okay, because like the Cardinals won in 60, Dodgers won in 65. The Cardinals won in 67. Who the world won in 66? Oh no. You're giving the 1 year I'm like probably because it's right in front of me. I can't think of it. The Yankees won the World Series. Allan, you want to take a guess?
Any guess? So think of 60 teams that would have been
I think
in
I
the
have an idea now.
60s. There's only a few teams that would have been in the 60s.
I think I have an idea now. I don't know why I don't remember this.
And this one isn't a powerhouse today, but actually had some
I
staying
think
power.
I know now. We mentioned them earlier, right?
Yes.
Yes, I know now. I don't know who they beat, but I know. I think I know it.
Dodgers.
It is not the Dodgers.
That would be the Baltimore Orioles,
The Baltimore Orioles, right? Who did they beat?
the Cincinnati Reds.
Allan, who did they beat? Use your last answer.
Yeah,
the
that's
Dodgers.
the year they beat the Dodgers. That's right. That's right.
All right. So, who is the manager of the Baltimore Orioles? I wasn't aware that that he was the manager of this team.
So,
Earl Weaver.
It is not. It is not Earl Weaver.
can I make a fun guess?
Go for it.
Earl Averill.
That's a really good guess, but it is not. It is Hank Bauer.
Oh, Hank Bauer. I do know who the manager is of the Dodgers.
Go for it.
Walter Alston.
It is. Nailed it. And who was for the Baltimore Orioles, the MVP of the 66 World Series?
I believe that would be the only man who has won the MVP in the AL and the NL, Frank Robinson.
Look at that. Nailed it.
That's what I need right there. I need that to
Nailed
get back in the swing. I couldn't believe. I can't believe I didn't remember they beat the Dodgers.
So, Allan, this is how I say you're going to learn. There's only
That logo is incredible. That logo is so good. Why don't they use that logo now?
I know.
Such a good logo.
There's and the ones for the ones in the 70s, all the ones that I love as well. But like there's only like a few powerhouses that won like the World Series every year. But Baltimore would sneak in every once in a while. They became like a powerhouse in the 60s and late 60s as well. And so
Michael, if you want to jump ahead a few years, we can talk about 1971.
we could. But actually, you know what I want to do? I want to set up Allan for one here.
All right, go for it.
I want to test his knowledge of something here. So let me find this one real quick.
All right.
Let's really test his knowledge because again, this would be his wheelhouse.
All right.
So let's go 1992.
Toronto Blue Jays.
Oh,
You are correct.
Vito
Who did they beat?
Gaston.
Cito Gaston. Fantastic.
Way to go.
This is the one they beat the Phillies, I think.
It's not. It wasn't the
I know who it
Phillies.
is.
Kevin.
I think it's the Braves.
In 92? Yes.
Okay. That's what I think. That was the Braves. Okay.
Yes. Who is the manager of the Braves?
Well, that would be Bobby Cox.
Exactly. Who was the MVP of the 92 World Series? I believe that we've talked about him before.
You ready for you're not going to believe the name I'm going to throw at you. I may not get his name right. Sprague?
Ed Sprague is
Ed Sprague.
not correct, but that's a great guess. Allan, any guesses?
Kelly Gruber.
That's a fantastic one, but wrong. It is Pat Borders. I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
I was thinking along those lines. I'm like, it was someone who was not that well known. All right. He's celebrated there for sure, being the MVP for the first international team winning World Series.
That's right. And a lot of people, because a lot of people default to the 93 series because of its, obviously how it ended and everything. But it's like that. The 92 series was actually pretty monumental at the time, especially, baseball. And it was also another, they thought at the time, because remember, like all the AstroTurf teams were winning, like, the Cardinals, the Twins, and now the Blue Jays. Well, the Astros were always competitive.
Yeah, they were.
Back in those days.
They were. They just never made it to the World Series back then.
Yeah. So, and then for Toronto to start winning, and it's like they started, and then they changed the AstroTurf. I'm not sure if it was in the late 90s or early 2000s, but they started changing it. That's when they had like the little the balls in it that came up that flew up.
Yeah. Well, in '94, the Montreal Expos.
Montreal. There you go. That's another AstroTurf team.
They were slated to. They were on pace to be like they were first place at that point. Yeah. And it's funny, if you look, you can still find the baseballs out there, but they printed World Series baseballs for 1994, even though
I have one.
Yes.
Yeah, I
actually have a 1994 World Series baseball.
Yeah.
Kevin actually gave me a patch. It gave me a patch for that one as well.
I have this.
That's incredible.
I had a patch and I made a custom hat with an Expos hat that said World Series 1994 on it. So like it's just like a side patch, and I put it on there. So
yes, they got robbed that year for sure. Of at least getting into the playoffs, like because like the Mariners. I mean, you could have a great season, and then the playoffs are a whole different story.
Would they have still been the Montreal Expos if they had won that? Would it have
that's a really good question.
Would it have changed the trajectory of baseball if they had won?
Yes.
So
yes. I blame UP. UP was.
Excuse me. Now you're Cowboy Jack. Now you're being Cowboy Jack playing the mascot.
I blame Rusty Staub.
Whoa, you're going UP. You're blaming UP for the baseball strike.
I blame Andres Galarraga.
You blame the big cat for going on strike. Unfair.
I blame the GM who decided to trade Pedro and Randy Johnson.
Yeah,
that does that.
I remember seeing
in the 80s. They traded Gary Carter for next to nothing too. I mean, come on.
Yeah. And then they signed Pete Rose. They were making a whole Pete Rose
like 1 year.
Yes, they did do an interesting thing when they made him the player manager, which I don't think he was before that. Was he?
No.
Was he? Yeah. And then I think that was kind of a bold move.
That had not been done since like the 40s or 50s.
Yeah.
Like there was a guy, a Hall of Famer named Lou Boudreau, who was for the. Am I allowed to say Indians? Cleveland Indians?
Sure.
He was. That's the last time I knew of that. I hope I have that right. I was thinking off the top of my Rain Man head. I believe that's the last time.
Didn't Ricky Henderson do it when he played independent ball?
He might have. I think he was like outfield / mentor.
He's probably just he's managing everything in his head and just telling people and saying, hey, you go there, you go there. Yeah. Ricky, stay here. Ricky, play here.
Yeah.
Oh man, I wish I would have gotten an opportunity to see him. I would have definitely made those are the types of things that you like look back and you're like kick yourself like, oh my gosh, that would have been amazing.
I did not
to see
him 15 minutes from me playing at my college field. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. There was a time we went to go see. It was in Bridgeport, Connecticut. We went to see the Bridgeport Bluefish, and it was just an independent team. And it's like I said, we're 50. My girlfriend and I were only 50 people in the stadium. And the guy that was playing in the outfield was a guy named Andy Chavez. And if you watched the series between it was a championship series between the Cardinals and Mets. Andy Chavez made one of the greatest,
oh my gosh,
like catches of all time. He robbed Scott Rowland of a home run and doubled off Jim Edmonds at first. It was like one of the greatest plays that I'd ever seen, like in baseball history. And
we talked about that. We talked about before on the previous show. Yeah,
and he's just playing like in this little independent league.
Is that the league where the next day, like the Wolfpack was showing up as a appearance?
What they used to do was they used to have not celebrity, but like guest managers, and like Jenny Finch the softball player from U of A. Like she was a manager, but like the next day was like the NWO. I could have almost saw the NWO. So it was Nash Hall, but no X-Pac.
I thought Wolfpack was
yeah. So it was just Nash and Hall, and I don't remember.
Hey, yo, you go to you run the bases.
And there couldn't have been more than 300 people there at the most during that. But it was just amazing because I actually have a picture of it, and I was like, how am I going to miss this? This is going to be a debacle. And even if they show up, I figured that they.
Why make it? I don't know.
It just looked crazy, but it wasn't. We were at another game, I think. Oh no! When I saw the Madison Mallards in Madison, Wisconsin, it's like a college summer league, and one of their gimmicks was that they would have like celebrity players. Jose Canseco like played there, and this was this was about the same time. But Gary Coleman from Different Strokes was actually. They put him in a game, okay? They suited him up and they put him out there. So if you don't know who Gary Coleman is, I'm going to put a picture of him. He's no longer with us, unfortunately, but he's not a professional ball player. Let's just say that. He was a very demure television star of a very popular show in the early 80s. And so they put him out there. And I guess the whole thing was that he was going to like either lead off or something like that. He was going to actually play in the game. So what they did was to get him out of actually playing in the game during the national anthem, he started a fight with the umpire and got ejected from the game.
Way to go.
What
a gimmick.
Total gimmick. Yeah.
I just found a photo of that. Of course, he wore number 1.
Yep.
Yes.
And the umpire is wearing a microphone.
Okay, there you go. So
it's like banana ball. I mean, gosh,
Yes,
I mean, it's just
100%. What year was that?
Let's see here. I just chose the photo. Let's see what it says.
It had to be 15. I mean, Gary Coleman died at least like a decade ago or so.
Yeah.
2008.
Wow.
Yeah, not that long ago. That's funny.
17 years now. I mean, for me, that was yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you're gonna live forever, Kevin. But check us out on our socials. We're on X, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. Guys, where are you going to be this week? Are you going to be anywhere fun?
Well, I just got a brand new car. It's a 2016 smart car, which I've named the Edgar Smartinez.
Yeah. I like that.
Yes.
I love it. So you're going to be tooling around and
just go-karting around.
Perfect. Well, look out for the look out for that. Look out. Kevin, where are you going to be?
This weekend, I'm actually going to be laying low. I've been all over the place, but I plan to just.
All right.
Look out.
Oh, chill out, not look out.
Well, I mean, look out. I'll probably be at Radiant all weekend.
Oh,
probably because I'm there all the time.
Twist the arm. Well, I don't know where I'm going to be. I'm barely here. It's been a long week coming back from DC and then losing my phone and then going to all the games yesterday. So we'll have to catch up. Yes, indeed.
I love baseball.
That's what I was saying the whole time. But for Allan Jepsen and for Kevin Lyon, I'm Michael Mondragon. We will see you next week with another Baseball Brew Crew podcast. Good night, everyone. Take care.